I was thinking about what happened. And I thought, were you there, Jesus? And I felt this tingling increasing. Then I started to give more power to the thought. And the more power I gave to the thought, the more it tingled. And I started to say it out loud. And suddenly I was sitting in my bed drunk. Just waving, dancing. I said, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
So then I can understand what's in the Bible, that the disciple was drunk by the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely true.
Yeah.
You got to accentuate the positive. Wow, I feel good. A little bit of feel good goes a long way.
You're listening to Karen Swain, teacher of Deliberate Creation, accentuating the positive, showing you a way to a better life.
Accentuating the positive, it's not just fad, it's sanity. Who in their right mind would accentuate anything else?
If you feel like that's what you want to do.
And welcome to another show, Accentuating the Positive with Karen Swain. I have one of the most delicious people to introduce you to today. Her name is Sissel Karlsen. She's all the way over there in Norway. Now, did I pronounce your name right? Sissel
Yes,
Karlsen.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Very good.
I've only known her for over a year, and I've just asked her now, have I pronounced your name right? But Sissel is an energy healer. She's a couples therapist. She's a soul retrieval therapist. Sissel is many things. I see her as in the shamanic practices. She has lots of shamanic practices. She is a member of our little inner sanctum tribe, which is the Deliberate Creation, and we have fun, don't we, for the New World Teachers. And she is going to talk about her awakening today. She sent me a video over, I think it was about a year ago, just giving me a little snippet into her awakening journey. She's also going to be one of the authors in the next book that's coming up called My Awakening, which is the working title. It's about people's spiritual awakening and how it happened to them and then how it impacted their lives. And, we've just put out the first book in the Awakening Soul series called Awakened by Death, but the next one is going to be focused on people's spiritual awakening, not necessarily themed around death, but just how it happened. And Sissel's story is just so beautiful. Welcome to the show, Sissel. It's so great to have you on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. Very nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. So as I said, she's all the way over there in Norway, and I'm in Sydney. She is just waking up in the morning, and we're coming into the dinner time. I was just telling Sissel, I just went and jumped in the ocean before, about a couple of hours ago, and she said she's still got snow on the ground over there. So don't you love the diversity of life?
That's the world we are living in, yeah.
That's the world we're living in. So many moons ago, probably about 26, 27 years ago, was it, Sissel?
Yes, it was. In 1991.
Well, yeah, that's the year my daughter was born. So yeah, she'll be 27 this year. You had an amazing experience. And so let's go over what happened to you, because I think a lot of people might relate to your spiritual awakening experience. What were you doing as a mother of a couple of kids?
Yeah, I will start with saying something about where I was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
Had been alone with them for 3 years. And as I married very young, I didn't have high school. So I was studying in evening and working during day. And didn't know what I was going to do later on, but I knew I had to have an education to support my children.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very good friend, a neighbor. She was very into religion, which I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved our discussions about life and death. And one time there was going to be a meeting It's not in the church, it's a line of the church. She wanted me to join, and I said, no way. I don't go to those meetings. But she said, it's 2 people coming there singing. It will be very nice, and I don't want to go alone. Can't you please join me? So she persuaded me, and I said, okay, I can be there for an hour, then I have to go home and put my children to bed. And she said, that's okay. So I went with her, and sitting down in a room full of people, they started to sing. And when they started with their songs, the text and the music went straight into my heart. And I just wanted to burst out in tears. And I was holding it inside, no way, not in this crowded room. And I could feel an energy coming around me as well. And I was thinking, this is a religion meeting place? No way. So I sat there struggling with both my tears and this energy. And after an hour, I said to her, now I have to go home. And she said, that's okay. So I went outside. And as soon as I closed the door behind me, standing outside the house, everything inside of me was gone. And that was so weird feeling. So I was thinking, what is going on? And I thought, well, I can think. And I was looking at my car and said, I'm going to drive that car home. And I could act on my thinking, that's good. But all that was me was gone. All feelings, I felt like a robot, like the empty shell. And I went home, put my children to bed, and this weird feeling was in me. And then I started to get kind of afraid, because I knew it was not possible to live like this. It was not a life, it was existence. So I thought, well, I go to bed, and tomorrow morning maybe I'm back again, back to normal me. So I went to bed. And as soon as I put my blanket on, this energy came back. And I knew this energy was God, like a knowing. And thinking about the hours behind me, I knew I couldn't live like that. I said, okay, I'm too afraid to live like that, so you better come in. And as soon as I said that, it started waves under my feet and inside my body. It was so powerful that if I would have standed on my feet, it would have been knocked me over. And I was laying there feeling those waves going through my whole body, like it was cleaning every cell I had. And when my body was clean, everything was filled with that force. It changed into pure love. And all started again from my feet and up with pure love. It was a bliss. It was out of this world.
Like waves.
It came like waves. And filled every cell in my body with this pure love. And I was just laying there. I couldn't move a finger. And when my body was filled with that love, I got a vision. I could see how it went out of me and filled the room. And then it filled the house. It goes through the neighborhood. and my ex-husband living 50 meters up the way, trying to make my life a hell. He was in it, and it was totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went further on until the whole world was covered. And I could see it was in everything. Stones, trees, people. There was nothing that wasn't in this force of love.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And then it started to go out in space, and my vision stopped.
Right.
And I thought, wow, what is this? I didn't have words to put on it. I was just in awe. But I fell asleep eventually. And the next morning, I went up to wake up my children. And I was like floating over the floor. And I was thinking about how much I love them. And I had to stop because this love was coming from my heart. And I have never experienced it in that way.
Wow.
I said, wow, it comes from my heart. It wasn't in my mind. It was in my whole body.
So the love that you experienced before, especially when you have little children, it's pretty hard not to love little children. It was a different, It was a different quality. It was different.
Yeah, it was different.
It was more like, aren't you cute? You know, aren't you pretty? Sort of from like a head thing.
Yeah, it's the love you have for children is unconditional.
Mm. But this love that you felt
was like taking over everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to explain because it's a love that you don't experience in the physical world.
Normally.
But we'll come to that later because we are going there.
Yeah.
And my whole body was tingling, vibrating. And in the evening, I was sitting there thinking about just being in that space. And suddenly I knew I was going to be a nurse. Something I absolutely didn't want to be. Because I hate operation, I hate blood, I hate see people suffering.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was kind of out of my way.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to be a nurse. And I even knew which college to attend. And I thought, oh no, it's so close. I wanted to move from the place, from the city. But then I couldn't move because it was close.
Yeah.
I said,
you wanted to move away from the ex-husband, and then your college would keep you right next to him. It's like, oh.
Yeah. So everything of that happened. But when I went to bed that next evening, I was thinking about what happened. And I thought, were you there, Jesus? And I felt this tingling increasing. Then I started to give more power to the thought. And the more power I gave to the thought, the more it tingled. And I started to say it out loud. And suddenly I was sitting in my bed drunk. Just waving, dancing. I said, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So then I can understand what's in the Bible, that the disciple was drunk by the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely true.
Yeah. And Rumi, you know, that famous poet that lived many, many hundreds of years ago, drunk on God, drunk on love. He often spoke about that drunkenness of love. Mm.
Yeah, you get totally in it. You are like a drunk. don't need any alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So this tingling was in my body, and I was walking a meter of the ground for quite a while. So like 2 months afterwards, my friend said to me one evening, we were sitting talking about it, that the feeling you have inside, if you put your hands on my shoulders, maybe you can make it go into me so I can have a feeling of what you're talking about. I said, I can try, see what happens. So I did. And as soon as I asked this energy to go into her, it started above my head like a fire coming in my crones, going out my shoulder and out my arms. And I was standing behind her, like, what? What is this? And it also came in waves.
Really?
And when I was standing there, I had this heavy feeling of responsibility coming inside of me. And I knew this is for later in life. This is not for now.
So how old were you? 26 years ago, I'd be giving your age away, wouldn't you? But you were young. Yeah, I mean.
I was 31.
You were a young mom. Yeah.
I was 30 to 31, 30.
So you knew that you had things to do, like you needed to educate yourself, you needed to bring up your children, and you knew that this experience was for later in your life, like you had that knowing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So when I took my hands off my friend, when it stopped the fire, she turned against me and said, it was good you took your hands off because my spine is on fire.
Oh, wow.
And she had even red marks on my hands the day after.
Wow.
So I started to explore with the healing with colleagues and family and friends. And I experienced every time they got into a very relaxed state. Headaches would go away, neck pain would go away, and they just wanted to go and lay down on a couch and have a rest afterwards.
Yeah, you kind of knocked them out.
Yeah. So my life went on normally. I had to, as you said, take my education.
So you went on to be a nurse and bring up your children.
Yeah. And married again.
And married again. What sort of nursing did you do? You did...
the first 10 years I was in home care because I didn't like hospitals.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Then I could go home.
My daughter does home care. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to go home and meet people at their place instead of in a hospital where they lay in bed like a patient. So, but then I went into psychiatry afterwards.
You know, Sissel, talking to you, my crown chakra is just going off. I tell you, it's just like, whoa. Things are happening to me just, as you relay this story, things are just happening.
It's
powerful.
It's the energy. Yeah. It's here.
So home care. Yep. And what happens next? Get married again, bring up the kids.
Yeah. First bringing up the kids, then got married after 12 years. And busy being a wife again and be with my children. They were in the educations and stuff. And I got a little grandson. So my life was kind of busy. But that happening was in my back of my head all the time. I was all the time asking, when am I going to dive into this? Because I know I have to explore it. I know I have to know where it came from, what it was, the meaning of it, and everything.
But it completely changed the trajectory of your life because it took you out of your selfishness. I don't like to use that word, but you know, you did something you thought you'd never do because you thought, oh, I don't like blood and I don't like sick people and I don't like suffering, but I'm going to be a nurse. So it put you in service, like it absolutely put you in service.
It did.
Even though your ego was saying, I don't want this. I want to be a famous rock star or fashion model or, you know, movie star or some whatever we think we want to be.
I didn't know, but it brought me in there, definitely.
Yeah.
So, and I loved the studies because it was about the human body and how we function, and that is, I found very interesting.
Yeah,
just love it. Yeah, so it was a good choice after all.
Yeah. So how old were you when you needed to re-explore this whole, like really investigate what happened to me? Who is this? What do you want? And who are you?
Actually, I had to divorce the second time.
As you do.
To have time to be with myself.
Yes.
It was the first time in my life I was alone.
I know husbands can be very distracting.
Yeah. Kind of take you in.
They take up a lot of your time.
Make you
focus.
Yeah, make you busy.
They keep you busy.
Yeah. And I was presented for plant medicine.
You were presented for plant medicine. What do you mean by that?
I got in touch with ayahuasca.
And how did you do that?
I went to the Amazon on a retreat.
So how did you find out about this? Were you Googling online or?
No, it was actually my daughter talking to someone who has done it.
Mm-hmm.
And she explained it to me. And I was, what is that? And then I went into Google.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I felt drawn into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was calling. I can't explain it otherwise.
Mm-hmm,
it was something inside of me pushing me to it.
Right. Because you were asking the questions like, who are you? What happened to me? What's this all about? And I guess that the medicine was saying, the plant medicine was saying, I'll show you. You want to, because I really feel like plant medicine is an accelerated spiritual growth. Because for me, you know, my story is just this slow awakening, but I was on it. Like I was on it. I didn't let life distract me from those questions. Like, what's going on, Alfie? Like, what's happening? So I kept, whereas you put it aside for a good 20 years, a while, and then came back to it. And it sounds like that she, I call her a she, the medicine, the plant, she said, I will show you exactly what happened. So you got in touch with a shaman and went to Peru, and then what happened?
I was cleansed. I started to clean up my body because I had quite a traumatic upbringing. My memory of my childhood was closed.
You'd forgotten.
Yeah. So she revealed to me something that I didn't know. And she started to show me, teach me the same time she was cleaning me. So I was having my eyes open to this realm that I saw like long, far away from here, which is not.
So that again, you had your eyes open to a realm that was far away from here.
Yeah, but actually it is not.
So like
my higher self.
Like a place within.
Yeah.
That feels like it's not this earth, but it's as close as breathing, but it's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. Right.
And that was an eye-opening. Like I saw my higher self, like I thought talking about my higher self was something far away.
Outside.
But I could see I was like a coin on, I was one side, the higher self or the other side.
Right.
That close.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it changed the way I look at life totally.
And how long ago was that?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay, right.
Different life.
Yeah. You had time. Yeah. No more work, no more children, no more demands. You had time for you. You know, that's why I really love your story, because I feel like there are so many of your generation, my generation, who have the time now to really awaken and be of service in a way they've never been before, even though maybe they've spent their whole life in service like you, as doctors, as lawyers, as nurses, as mothers, as, you know, as practitioners, as therapists. But there's a whole new way that we can be of service, and it takes this acceleration in this awakening process, not just the bricks and mortar, like my daughter's doing the bricks and mortar care. She's like, you know, washing people and looking after them and doing it in a very physical way. But there's another way that we can be of service, which is more energetic.
But we do need that as well.
We do.
Yeah. We need both.
We need both. Yeah.
But as I was thinking about something, it went away.
So we're in Peru. You had this experience of seeing yourself as two sides to a coin, the ego self and the higher self. And then what happened?
The more I cleansed all the traumatic stuff, the more myself I felt. And I know that I came in here with that plant before coming in. I know I had to dive into the darkness and survive it, to be strong enough. Today I see the darkness as, I actually love it. Because here in the earth, we have light and dark. So we are dancing with it. And the darkness is what, the shadows is what shapes me. And everyone. So we can see ourselves. So we can see ourselves.
Exactly. We can see what we're capable of.
Yeah. I get a picture of, not me, but everyone, like a big, big space where we are all in this space. We are one. Then we have these belief systems and the thought coming in, shaping the individuality and who we are.
That's right.
And that these belief systems, that is not serving us anymore, that we are letting go.
Yeah.
The belief system that we are not enough, not good enough, not lovable, not clever enough, not intelligent enough. All those thoughts is going away more and more. So we can open up and be more. Absolutely.
The thought, I'm not enough, not worthy enough, I'm not enough, is such a huge collective thought form that humanity in general, like we think when we're having those thoughts, I'm not enough. We think it's our stuff, right? But it's not. It's this collective groundswelling that humanity has been really indulging in. And enough is enough. Like this thought that I'm not enough has just got to finish, because when we know that we are an extension of the divine, how could anyone on this planet be not enough? How could anyone be not enough? Anyone. Any being, anything, any plant, anything. It's all an extension of the divine.
And I saw it in my vision, how this love was in everything.
Even in the ex-husband down the road.
Yeah. Although he doesn't know it.
I'm losing. It's getting on dusk now. I'm losing the light, so I might need to turn on some lights in a minute. But so tell me, after you experienced this unconditional love surging through you and through every being, you speak like many of the people that you've seen on the show speak about having a near-death experience, an NDE, where they see this love that permeates everything. Mm. Did you have a different relationship with your ex-husband after that experience? Yeah.
Yes. Because I was filled of this love. Mm-hmm. I couldn't radiate hate.
No. Yeah.
It was impossible.
Yeah, it was impossible.
Yeah.
How long did that last? Did that last all your life, or up until, like from then?
Yeah, almost.
So you didn't ever engage in hateful, critical thoughts again?
I could get angry, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But not in... I actually felt hate once coming into me. Mm-hmm. And it was so powerful. Mm-hmm. But in the second I felt it, I knew that if I want to love my children, this hate can't be there. And that was a choice.
Mm. Absolutely.
So I consciously said, this hate I let go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To have love to give, because it would have eaten me up.
So interesting. There's so many people out there in service, there's so many people. And when you're hating someone, you just can't be in service to the others. No matter, if it's the boss that's not paying you, or the ex-boyfriend who's being nasty to you, or the dysfunctional family member, like whatever or whoever you're hating, you can't be in service to the others if you're hating the one, because we're all connected. What I put on Facebook the other day, you can't be in the light. Do you remember? I put something beautiful on Facebook the other day. It was from those lovely I can't find it at the moment, those lovely messages that I post on Facebook. You can't be in the light and hold another in darkness. That was it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. It's beautiful and it's true.
Yeah. So you had that realization. It's a realization a lot of people forget. They set forth to be healers or difference makers or light workers, and then they get upset. They get upset about the politician or the unfairness or the cruelty to animals or the pollution. We get so upset and we start hating on people. And you just can't be the light and hold anyone else in darkness.
No. And that is what I am feeling. That the love, if we connect to the love inside, the world changes instantly.
Absolutely.
And we have a choice. All is about free will.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm loving that photo behind you of the Shah woman, smoking her pipe with her pearl. It's hilarious. It's exactly what you were talking about.
It is. I love that picture myself. It's painted from my shaman. And that's the mother.
Is your shaman a man or a woman? A man.
It's a mother and a son.
A mother and a son. That's the mother.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
2 daughters as well. Mm-hmm. But they switch. But I've been with them as well. A beautiful family.
Okay, so you go to Peru. You have this beautiful experience with the plant medicine, and then you come home. And what happens next?
Well, I started to see my life totally different. Like I say, my life changed. So the other life I had is another me.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
It is. And after I healed myself, I stopped being the healer.
Now that's a fabulous statement. So we need to repeat. That's a tweetable moment right there. We need to repeat that. Say that again. I stopped. Say that again, please.
After I healed myself, I stopped being the healer.
That's just perfect. Explain that. I think I might just pause for 1 minute and put some lights on. Hang on one sec. The energy is very high at the moment. Okay, let's explain that. After I healed myself, I stopped being the healer. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah. I knew I come here to heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that nobody can heal other people because it's a choice.
Yeah.
So now I can guide people, I can support them, and I can show them things. But they has to choose to go in there. And it's not my business if they don't want to.
Exactly.
And I have also been explained that when people come into my energy, they automatically adopt that energy, and that will make them open up.
Yeah, like they resonate, they acclimate, they like when you put a tuning fork next to other you know, the instruments, it starts to vibrate at the similar level. So when you're holding, as a healer, when you're holding a frequency, a level, a vibration, when people come into the field, your field, they start to vibrate at a similar level. And healing can be that simple. It's like, healer, heal thyself.
Yeah.
And then others are affected, the ones that are around you. Yeah, beautiful. You don't have to do or say anything to them.
No, and that is something I understood. I just have to be.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And another thing that has opened up a lot, I have had it all my life, but it comes much more often now. That is my dream state. Your
dream state.
Yeah, I've been teaching a lot while I'm dreaming and while I'm sleeping.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I also get downloads of information during everyday life.
Mm-hmm. I know we need to get your music out of you in this realm. I mean, because obviously you're doing it in other realms. So this is what we're attempting to do right now. We're getting her music out of her so that you, the listener, can hear and watch. And then we're going to put Sissel in the next book, and we're going to share this story in more detail in the next book, and get her music out of her into this realm, into this human, physical, 3D life realm.
Yeah. And the most important thing I feel is necessary to speak out about is that God, I call him, her, or her God, you can call him whatever you want, is real.
God is real.
Yeah. I have experienced that, I call it love force.
Yeah.
And it's real.
What would your definition of God be? You know, everyone holds a different definition. How would you describe what you call God?
For me, God is everything. Absolutely everything. To put a description will make
limited.
Yeah. And she can't be limited because he's everywhere.
One of my favorite little sayings is that young monk who's meditating at a river, and a young boy comes up to him with some oranges and says, "I'll give you an orange if you tell me where God is." And the young monk looks at the young boy and says, "I'll give you 2 if you tell me where God is not."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are now, I think it's what we are in now is a time of exploration inside instead of outside. We have been for hundreds of years learned to listen outside to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So we have measured ourselves with a neighbor, with our friends, with the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
But that is changing. We are now going inside and get our own power. Because we have the knowing inside, like the intuition. We have to train it to get it alive again.
Well, I think what we're doing is it's alive. It's there, it's alive.
Yeah.
We have to train our ego mind, our individualization, that aspect of us that wants to be separate, that wants to be special, that wants to be, that part of us that says, "Look at me, am I doing okay? Am I okay? Am I good enough? Do you love me? Am I lovable? Am I okay? Yeah. Am I okay? Am I okay?" Mm-hmm. That part of us that is playing with this worthiness thing, that we need to just get that out of the way enough so that inside can shine brighter. It's like opening the blinds. Let the light out instead of letting the light in. Let the light out. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
So you were in Peru again recently, and you had another amazing experience. Do you want to share that with us as well?
I've been to Peru several times after the first one. The last trip was traveling around in Machu Picchu and Titicaca.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And the energy there is amazing.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's like the mountains and everything speaks to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I actually got connected with the light beings underneath.
I just had a vision of all the ETs there, and I just got this vision of you on a ship, actually, like looking down, and you're actually a part of them. As you said, you were a light worker, not a light worker, a starseed. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I just got this vision of you on the ship looking, ooh. Okay. So, yep, go on. Mm-hmm.
No, as I said, I got in contact with them, the light beings inside, and that's why I had to go there to make the contact. Now I bring it home.
Now they're with you all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about that experience that you shared with us in the Inner Sanctum, because that was just incredible. That experience, the last one, the latest one.
I had so many.
Just share one that comes to mind.
The last dream I had was exploring what the soul is and about healing the soul. And I could see that was in Peru. I got a knowing that I am here to combine all my lives. Because when I heal this one, I heal every life I'm living.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes me more and more whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like feeling like more and more of me is coming into my body.
Mm-hmm.
And when the more light coming into me, the more wisdom is revealed, because the light is containing wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have a little light, we get some wisdom revealed, and then we get more light and more wisdom is revealed until we are whole.
Mm. You know, what I just got when you said that was that a lot of people write to me and they say, I have had such a traumatic life. Like, why have I had such a trauma? You know, my father beat me and this happened and that happened and, you know, all this stuff. And what I'm being shown as you speak is that so many light workers or star seeds have put their hand up to come here to take on a human form, even if they've never had another physical life before, in that they've never had another human 3D physical life, to work on timelines for not only their soul or their soul group, but for many. It's like as they live this life and go through their traumas and transmute the energy of that from hate to love, they're doing it for the collective, like not just their family or their soul family or even their many lifetimes, but it's just what I'm being shown. It's just exponential how this is affecting the whole. It's like it's like they've taken it on to accelerate human consciousness, to accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. Because you know, Sissel, like, you know, with Garnet, when he's out of body and he's with his spirit guide Albert, the Council of Light have said, you guys in the humanity, you've been really slow on the uptake to do this evolution thing. You know, we need to speed up this process. We need to get you in line with Gaia, in line with Mother Gaia, because she's evolving and you guys, you haven't been doing too well. So there's a whole stack of you, that have come in to work. And so if you're watching this and you're one of those people that says, why has my life been so traumatic? Your soul took that on because your soul said, I can do this. Yeah,
and that's why I have experienced my life. I have experienced abuse myself.
Yeah.
It's to show that, sorry, it's a coffee machine closing. No more coffee today. I mean, it's to show that whatever you are experiencing is only an experience today. It's the memory that makes you live it again and again and again until you are tired of it and you let it go. Then you are free.
Yeah.
You don't have to grab on those lines pulling us back.
Yeah.
We can let them go.
That's right. You know, I think you were with us with Francis, who's next, well, in a couple of days, in the Inner Sanctum. We spoke about last time how we can change the past by transmuting that energy in the now. So, you know, healing is about when you can think about the abuse, when you can think about being, you know, the hurt, the trauma, and you can think about it with love. Like you can say thank you to it. That's when you change the past. Like you change timelines. You literally change the past, because no longer does it live as a trauma or as a wound to be overcome or healed. It lives as an experience that was cherished and, you know, that there was great expansion and learning.
I chose it.
Yeah,
So.
I chose it. I chose this, exactly. It lives as a deliberate choice, something I've chosen, not something I'm a victim of. Exactly, yeah.
Then you take the power back to yourself.
You take the power back,
I have been shown when I chose to come here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was standing in front of the Akashic record that is alive.
Yeah.
And I saw it like an orchestra, like it was a lot of notes on it. And then I saw this part that was very dark. And those sounds, those notes didn't sound in the heaven. And I could feel the grief of God for those that was so in the density that their music had stopped. So I said, what can I do to help? And the minute I said it, I was shoot out. And then I was standing in front of a higher self.
Right.
The most beautiful I ever seen.
Yeah.
It was living, and it was beautiful colors, and I saw it like a lot of DNAs.
Yes.
Intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
So I can understand today how one life affects another one, because it's in there, and it's DNA. And then one strain of DNA went out, and I couldn't study a life. And then it went in again, and another strain came out, and I could see another life. So I think I was imprinting.
Ah, okay. So do you think, or know, or feel that you're one of these souls, that this is your first human life, and you've been imprinted with past lives so that you can come in with this knowledge? Or do you think that you've been here before?
I'm actually not sure. I'll be thinking in the same, if that was just the imprinting, or if I had some. I had a dream 2 years ago that I was a dolphin. So I know I've been a dolphin. And in that dream, I was going close to the shore, and I was looking up, and I saw some people, and suddenly I was walking. So I might have had some lives.
Yeah, what a lot of souls that are here now, that are part of the first and second wave, third wave, as Dolores Cannon will talk about, dipped their toe into the water of human 3D experience as an animal or a plant or a tree to get a feeling of this dense arena. And so animal lives, were definitely, I've regressed many people that have been animals and trees and dolphins, and I know my daughter's been a dolphin. She's still a dolphin. But so they get a sort of sense of what it's like to have a physical body, or what it's like to breathe the air, or what it's like to be dense physical, because they might play in other realms and arenas and different frequencies and a whole totally different environment. So it's kind of like, if you come here to Earth, it's kind of nice to get a sense of what this is like. And so many do the animals first, because it's actually easier to be an animal. You're more connected to the divine. You're not in as much amnesia as the human consciousness. So animals are far more evolved than we are, and we think that we have dominion over them. It's crazy, but anyway, that's the way it's been. Yeah. So maybe fun. That's you, honey one.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
Maybe. But I know. Actually, this life, I'm a walk-in.
You're a walk-in
in this life.
When you had that experience in the church, or that was that when you walked in?
No, I walked in this body when it was 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you know that? Do you have memory of that?
Yeah, I got memory. Actually, I was sitting on the plane from Amsterdam to Oslo when I had a download.
Oh, when you had the download of you walking in. Right.
Yeah. It's a funny story. I had been in a workshop in Amsterdam.
Yep.
It's made by Drumvalo Melchizedek.
All right, Drumvalo Melchizedek, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, very beautiful workshop. And I had a very strong experience on the healing day. Like, I could actually feel my whole body was closing down. Like my muscles, the breathing, everything stopped. And I was sitting on the plane on my way home, I got this buzzing, this sound coming, and then I got a vision, and my whole body was shaking. I wanted to burst out in tears, and I saw myself on a terrace, on a house that I've been visiting a lot during my dream state when I was a child.
Right.
I used to go there to play and feel safe. But I'd always been playing in the front of the steps in the garden with other children. This time I was an adult and was standing on the terrace. And I've been there before. And I knew 2 other souls was inside the house. And I was actually, my plan was to go with them. But I had to go a little before that, I thought. So I was standing there seeing this darkness coming closer and closer and closer. And I was not looking forward to it. And then the blackness took me and I was gone.
Right.
And in my experience in the first retreat in Amazons, I got a lot of visions from my 2 first years, from 0 to 2 years. And then it went black from 2 years and up to 10, where I suppressed my memories. And I had a very close connection to Erik Medhus.
Oh, really?
I was talking to him a lot, and during meditation I used to ask him things, and he come. And so I asked him after I come home, why is that? Why did I have so many memories of the 2 first years and not afterwards?
Right.
And he said to me, you needed those pictures so you knew what you were healing, because you was not in that body. That memory was from the body, not from you. From right. 2 years and up. You didn't need to see anything because you knew what it was, because you were in the body.
So Erik told you that you walked in when you were 2.
And I kind of knew it, but I needed the confirmation.
He confirmed it. Can I just tell you what happened the other day? So I was watching Elisa's latest YouTube with a new medium, and I was watching Elisa really stretch this medium, asking her questions, and then kind of coming with, Erik said this before, and this poor medium was so nervous, and she was doing really well. And I wrote a comment and said, oh, Elisa, you do like to stretch them. And then I started giving a little channeling from Erik. He came through and sort of answered a few things that she'd asked during the session. And then it was late at night, and then I went up to bed, right? And I had my lamp on in the bed, and Erik put on a disco light show for me. It was hilarious. I'm sitting on the bed and the lamp starts flickering. I'm thinking, oh, the bulb is going. We go into the logical mind, the bulb, but it wasn't the bulb flickering. It was like going off and on, then off, on, off, on, off, off. It was like it was dancing. And I just turned around and looked at it, and it just had this, and I was watching the light in the room going off and on, and I was thinking, if you were looking outside into the house, you would think there was a disco happening in my bedroom. I just sat there watching the light. It went for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it stayed on, and it just stayed on. There's nothing wrong with the bulb. It was. I just said, is that you, Erik? And he's,
he likes to play. He likes to play.
He has pranked me so many times before, but I have not had the disco light before. It wasn't just like a little flicker. It was off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Off, on, off, like it was just disco. It's hilarious.
It's typical him. Yeah.
Typical Erik. I should have got up and done a little dance, like pretended I was in the disco. Anyway, that's an aside.
That's nice.
Okay, so Erik Medhus showed you that you confirmed that you were a walk-in. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that was just recently, was it, in the last year or 2?
Half a year ago.
About half a year ago, about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's bringing us up to the now. So what's been happening with you lately? Because you've had an amazing journey and things just keep happening. We were just having a bit of a chat before I turn the recording on, about the frequency of the now. What are you experiencing?
What I experience now is the struggling is over.
For you or for everybody?
Actually, for everybody.
Mm-hmm. If you choose it.
I was going to say the same.
Sorry.
It's all a choice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because everything is done. We are reliving our own ascension.
Say that again. We're reliving our own ascension.
Yeah. I know I come from the future to help this soul. I have seen how I clean up the family line
Mm-hmm.
and other lives I've had.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is fine. You don't have to struggle.
So for people watching this that are struggling, what would you say to them?
If you go into your heart and connect with the source inside of you, if you let go of all the thoughts you have for the future and for the past, and just be for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and feel how it is. Because when we choose to be in the now, in this moment, and connect with our heart and what we have inside of ourselves, we can start to feel it.
Mm. So let go of the story of the struggle and just be in the moment for now. If you want to pick up the struggle later, you can, but it's in that.
Whenever you want.
Whenever you want, pick it back up, but just let it go. Just let it go for now and just be in the now, outside of the story, outside of the problem, and just see what happens. Because that's really what happened to you. You know, you maybe for a moment in that church or wherever you were when you had that experience, you were in the moment for just a short amount of time, and it only really takes just that moment for the blinds to go up and the light to be able to shine out of you.
It can change everything.
It can change everything. So stop trying to fix it, stop trying to heal it, just be in the now and just allow the light to shine out of you, and the struggle is over. Then the struggle is over. So your experience for that minute, but your experience is really a teaching for everyone that's in struggle right now. That's
I do have a lot of clients, and I see how they struggle with finding themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, in that picture, I can see in this search for who we are, we grab onto those belief systems that we have been taught, that we have been holding on to. And then when we let them go away, I can see how we expand. If we let go of the belief systems that limit who we are for a moment and feel the expansion, you actually become more of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People are afraid that they have to change. You don't have to do anything. You just have to let go of belief systems and thoughts that are limiting you.
Mm. And as we talked about, as you let go of the ones for you, you actually let go of it for all of humanity, because we're all connected. You cannot not affect the other. So
as I have learned, when one soul heals, this healing is actually is in the collective consciousness. So everybody struggling with it can tap into it.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's expansion. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, Sissel, it's just been so beautiful to hear your story and to get you recorded and out there so that people can expand and remember who they are too. It's really just a matter of remembering. As you give the light an opportunity to shine, you just remember who you are. It's like you have memory, like you did. You had memory of being a walk-in. You can have past life memories. You can have future life memories. You can have other life memories, like being in another dimension and another species. You can remember being on a spaceship. You can remember being anywhere in the. You just gain more awareness, more memory of your multi-dimensional self. And that's such a fun ride. It really is. It's really an exhilarating, exciting ride. Life
gets more and more exciting.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And this physicality we have is quite interesting, because when we are in the other realm, everything happens instantaneously. Here we have the time. So we don't experience how our thoughts creates, because we have a thinking now, and next week we have the manifestation of that thought. So we have the space in between, and we don't link them. We don't see it.
You see, people don't understand that this realm that we call, kindergarten or lower density or lower dimension is actually a higher school. If you have a bigger buffer of time between thought and manifestation, then it takes diligence and focus to maintain a loving thought, because the quicker your thoughts manifest, the more focused you become. You have to, because otherwise you're just getting beaten up, like physically, by your thoughts. But if you have this extended period of time between thought and manifestation, we can get really lazy and lax, and we can think that criticizing people and judging people and being pissed off is okay, because we don't see the physical manifestation show up so quickly. So this lower dimension is actually a harder school. Like it's more like a university level education or experience, not a kindergarten, So it's really interesting, isn't it? It's a lower density, it's a lower vibration, lower dimension, but it's a harder school. So
but the more we open up, the more synchronicities happen.
Yeah, and the faster manifestation becomes.
Yes. And
what happens with a lot of light workers is they don't realize that, holding on to past habitual thought forms like criticism. It's interesting. We think that criticizing people, they're not okay. These little criticisms that we have about, he's different to me, she's this, that, these little criticisms, we don't realize that when we're light workers, how that drastically impacts. Because the more light you hold, then the more the darkness impacts, like darkness, I don't really want to call it darkness, but that resistance impacts the light. So you feel it, and it manifests so much greater for the light workers than it does for the normal people. You can have some people that live their whole life in complaint and criticism, and they can have really good lives. So I have a relative who's very wealthy. She has a very luxurious life. And everything that comes out of her mouth is a complaint and a criticism and a judgment. And yet she doesn't suffer from this. But she's not holding the light. Yeah. Well, she doesn't. She doesn't suffer. She really doesn't. She's old and she's not sick. And you would think, now how can she be so angry and grumpy and critical and yet not have, because she's not holding the light. She's not out there as a light worker. That's not her in her soul plan. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. But when you do hold the light, when you are in service, you have to be really diligent about cleaning up your thoughts.
I know. It's so very, very right
They
on.
impact you, yeah. They
Yeah.
really do. They really do. Yeah.
But we are also on different levels. We have old souls and we have new souls coming in. And the levels have different manifestations of the creation they are doing.
Yeah. Everyone's choosing a different experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
You were what?
we are learning all the time.
Yeah. You were what? You were about to say you were what? I think we're going to wrap this up in a minute. I want people to know how to find you. If people want to have a reading or a healing with you, just as I said, just being in your energy. I'm with you online quite a lot, but having this focused time with you, like all this stuff, I can feel all this energy moving through my body. So it's beautiful to be with Sissel. So if you want to have a reading or a session, how can people around the world find you?
I have a website that I need to make a proper one, I know, but I'm not into technology. So I have a simple one. But you can reach me on adroniaslight.vpweb.no.
Adronias Light,
Yes.
ADRONIAS light.vp.web.no.
Yes. And I do sessions by Skype. So it's easy to reach me today. It's the time difference, but but that's okay. We find a time.
You're normally in Norway, sometimes in London, and sometimes in Peru. You're a bit of a traveler. You do like to get around. So, got to pin you down.
I like to explore, yes. And I want to say that Adronia is my higher self.
Ah, beautiful.
The more she come into my body, I needed to start to use her name.
Oh, beautiful. Anything you'd like to leave with our listeners? Any pearls of wisdom before we say goodbye?
The pearls of wisdom comes through your heart.
Listen.
Yeah, listen to yourself.
Listen.
Everybody has a power inside, and we need to take it back. Don't give it to your neighbor. Don't give it to your boss, or even your family. You have it inside of you. I have seen also how easy it is to, if you are a helper, you help everybody else before yourself. Make time for yourself.
Grow the light.
You think because we think we are egoistic if we listen to ourselves.
Egoistic, yes, egoistic, yep. If we listen to ourselves.
But it is not egoistic to have love for yourself and do what is good for you. Because then you have more love to give others.
That's it. Perfect.
You have to start with yourself.
Perfect. Oh, thank you, beautiful.
And thank you. So nice to talk to you. It's so wonderful. You're doing so good job.
As are you. Spreading the light. We're all here spreading the light. Bye for now, darling one.
Bye.
Isn't Sissel beautiful? Sissel Karlsen, over there in Norway. She's so gorgeous, such an amazing, gorgeous energy healer. She's a part of our little Inner Sanctum webinar tribe. We have about a dozen of us that get together online each month and share each other's experiences and help each other. We support, accelerate, activate the New World teachers. It's for anyone, really. A New World teacher is not necessarily anyone that stands on a stage or has a book. A New World teacher is that person who has done the work, who has transformed, transmuted their own energy field, and they hold the light, and they're out there in the world spreading the light. That's what a New World teacher is. You can do that through your art. You can do that through music. You can do that through books, through talking, through your love, through your service. You can do that in a myriad of ways. New World teachers are everywhere, and we need to support each other and help each other on this very interesting journey called physical life. It's an interesting journey right now too, with the exaggerated energy fields that are hitting our planet right now, and just ramping up, accelerating, amplifying everything, amplifying vibration. So it's amplifying the resistance within you as well as amplifying the light within you. It's been a really interesting ride lately. So if you have a transformational story to share, we'd love to hear from you for the upcoming Awakening Soul books, the Awakening Soul series books. As you know, the first one is out now on Kindle and Amazon, Awakened by Death. Sissel is contributing to the next one, which is about spiritual awakenings. I think I'll call it My Awakening. That's really a working title at the moment. We've got Angel Encounters, another book coming up. The angels asked me to share people's stories about how angels are there helping them in a myriad of ways. So maybe you have an angel encounter story that you'd like to share in the Awakening Soul series. And also ET and ED, extra dimensionals, extraterrestrial encounters, alien encounters. We're going to share people's journeys and stories with, there's lots of starseeds on this planet who are very connected to their ED relatives, ED family, their extra dimensional family, their extraterrestrial family. So maybe you're one of those and you'd like to share your story in the Awakening Soul series. So please let us know. Go to the awakeningsoulseries.com and you can submit your story there. We need about 200 to 300 words just to get a feel of what you want to talk about. All the stories are about transforming the lives of people that are here, living third dimensional lives. It's not just about telling a pretty story. It's how your story helps to transform and contribute to the upliftment and the shift, the upliftment in human consciousness to the human family. So thanks for joining me for another show. And if you want to join us in the Inner Sanctums, please let me know. Go to the website and sign up. And I look forward to seeing you again. Love you all. Bye for now.
Thanks so much for joining us for another enlightened conversation on Accentuate the Positive. If you would like spiritual guidance from my guides, Blissful Beings, go to KarenSwain.com for a reading, or to listen to more enlightened thought leaders share their wisdom. Go to the listen page on KarenSwain.com and choose who you want to listen to. All the podcasts are also available on iTunes. Remember to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it, we're there. Until next time, bye for now.
If you feel like that's what you want to do,